Hello and welcome to Bolao Talks, Europe's first and only foot volley podcast. Recording from Clemens' new hometown here in Barcelona. He's been sleeping on the floor the past 2 nights, but this night you were upgraded to the couch. That's good to see.
To afford this podcast.
Clemens will be coached by Talavera for the new season, I think. It's going to be exciting to see. Benedict and Bolao has put together a tour of 10 locations for this season. It's amazing news. We're going to go through that today. And Jackie has played now with Ronaldinho and also Thiago Alcantara. My name is Morten. I'm going to be the host of today's podcast. Jackie, Ronaldinho or Thiago?
Football-wise, I'll go with Ronaldinho. When it goes to footballer level, I think I'll stay with Thiago. But what made the second experience with Thiago even better is that I was able to play with Clemens. Unfortunately, when I played with Ronaldinho, he wasn't there, and I had to team up with Ronaldinho himself.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Only second best after Clemens. But no, jokes aside, I think it's a really good sign that former football players with their reach just start to play football, presented to a different group of people, and I really love it. And they are also really competitive, so it's not that they just want to keep the ball up a bit, but they want to win, and I want to win as well, so I love to compete against them.
Fantastic. Clemens, I think I maybe took it one step too far saying you're going to be coached by Talavera. Or is Benedict still the coach?
Well, going through a career, you get to be coached by a couple of people, and let's see where we're headed for this season. Obviously, Benedict is always on our side, always part of the team. So he's more than a coach only. He's a massive support across all levels of our football journey. And here in Barcelona, we're going to train in different groups of people. I need to see with my schedule when I have time and who I'm going to train a lot with. But nonetheless, I'm going to be training a lot and playing with the best players from Spain. So looking very much forward to that.
And what are you looking forward to in this season?
Looking forward, to be honest, not to play football at the same time as playing football, which is the first time in my life. As people who know me know, we've always played in the same teams, the three of us. And yeah, you cannot focus 100% on football. And now for the first time in my career, I can. Also, Jackie quit playing football for the moment. So that's what I look forward to a lot. Then obviously that I'm here in Barcelona from February onwards, having the chance to play and train football every day, which is also something I've never experienced. So I'm expecting to profit a lot from these circumstances, and also being able to play the Spanish league for the first time, because I'm living here now and I'm going to be playing together with Jackie if we can team up at the Spanish tour stops. So we get more of a challenge on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm really happy for how this whole thing turned out this year for me, and I'm looking forward to get going.
Benedict, a lot is going to go on with Bolao and football in Europe here in 2025. The League of Champions has been introduced, and now you're also reintroducing a podcast. Previously, primarily focused on the Austrian side of football, but now the whole European side. Yes. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in Bolao at the moment and why you want to reintroduce this podcast.
Yeah, we started with the podcast during COVID, actually, because we were bored and there was, a lot of people wanted to talk about football and were interested, but as you said, only Graz based. And now I feel more and more interest from all over Europe about what's happening in football. And one of the main deficits of football is there is no channel, there is no platform, there is nothing which informs people, where people can communicate. And me, myself, and you, and a lot of us from our team, we feel that we get more and more messages, more and more interest, not only about the tour that we are hosting, that we're going to talk about also the League of Champions, but about a lot of things that are happening in football. And I think it's a good time to introduce it again, because finally there's so much to talk about. Finally, people are moving, playing tournaments. There are a lot of new good players. There are players who go to Brazil to train and come back. Brazilian players that play in our European tournament. So there is a lot of new things happening, a lot of new players, a lot of events. So there is a lot to talk about. Hopefully it will be interesting to a lot of people also, not only for us.
For sure. And let's just take the temperature on football at the moment. All of you guys around the table and the couches here are very well known within European football. You played it for many years. If we take the temperature on football in Europe 2025, what's different? What's new? What's moving? How do you see it coming this year?
I think the locations are new. We have locations we've never played in, for example, Copenhagen. I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people are really looking forward to discover new sites because obviously everybody loves to return to Graz. And also in Graz, we have the spectacular venues, also different spots in the city. But to go somewhere completely new, to learn also about the new, let's say, football culture, and learn new people, get to know new people, I think this is really something I'm looking forward to a lot. Also playing against players on a high level you didn't play too much before in combinations like now with the mixed teams and the clubs we are going to talk later about. I think this also brings a new thing into the whole football sport, and I'm really looking forward.
And if we see the whole football movement or the everything going on at the moment, are we seeing a sport that's growing? Are we seeing a sport that's on the decline? What is your general temperature of football?
Yeah, well, I've been playing football for the first time some 15 years ago. So I was always in there and always observing. And now I think it's really a crucial moment where it's spread more or less all over Europe. So in the summer you can go to so many places and have a game of football and meet somebody who is a football player or a lover. And with the League of Champions, I think a big part of what football is and what makes up the European football community has the chance to also compete on an international level with the levels of 100 tournaments and 500 tournaments. Beforehand, it was only the best teams or the best team of the best nations to compete, and now everybody has got a chance to earn points for their club and so on, and make their football journey also, or integrate football tournaments in their journey, because there are so many training camps going on with people from all over Europe traveling to Tenerife or other places ahead of a tournament or so. And now even if you're only beginning, you can play an international tournament the same year. So I think the incentive is really there, and I'm very much looking forward to make the sport grow even bigger through all these possibilities that are there.
And Benedict, I think we're going to dive into this in just 1 second. But before that, I just want to give the menu to all the listeners today for the podcast, because this is actually what we're going to talk about next. So today's menu. The season of 25 are introducing League of Champions. But what is this tour? A club tour? A players ranking? And what's the point of a brand new tour? The Bolao panel has all the answers for you guys today. The international season will kick off in Graz. Who's gonna end on top? And what are the experts' predictions of Europe's best club, best players, and biggest surprise of this season? And what is Juki and Jackie's journey? Where are they gonna end up? Finally, Bolao Talk is feeling lucky, and we're spinning the wheel for all football enthusiasts in Europe. And this might be your chance to win the jackpot. Back on the League of Champions. Let's start there.
Yes, I'm gonna take up where Clemens left off. I think what's so special about this moment in time for football, for everybody who is following for a long time already, there has never been so much demand. If you're in the community, if you're into football, you see players everywhere, all over Europe, that are just waiting for possibilities to play. And in the past years, there were very exclusive tournaments, good tournaments, really nice official competitions, but you had to be the best of your nation to be able to represent and to play in an official tournament. What we are doing is opening up for everybody, adding more events, so we have a lot of possibilities for everybody to play and compete.
And this is not going to challenge the level for the best.
What do you mean? That the
I
best
mean,
are not
if
gonna...
you open it up for everybody, what's going to happen to competitions for the best of the best and all that?
What our aim was, what we tried to do is to mix aspiring players. Everybody has the chance in qualification events to join the main event with the best players from all over Europe and Brazil also, and still have the best players compete amongst each other. So it's not gonna be a big competition with 40 teams where everybody is playing against each other. Maybe the one or the other tournament, but the main events like in Graz, in the old town, in Copenhagen on the main square, it's gonna be still the best teams. But the big difference is everybody has the chance to be amongst the best teams. You don't need to be from a certain European country. You don't even have to have a European passport. It's possible to join if you live in Europe, if you have any club in Europe, if you just want to play and participate, you can register for all the events.
And is it correct that everybody actually receives points?
Yes, everybody that plays the events, no matter if the main event or the qualification event, will receive points.
So this is my chance to get on the international ranking. That's good to hear. Jackie, a club tour. What does that mean?
A club tour means that you represent a club rather than a country, which was in the last years a bit of a problem, especially for people representing a country where there's one other player missing. The famous example is always Timi from Hungary. She was always one of the best female players in Europe, but never had the chance to compete because she didn't have a partner. And this problem is now being solved by the club tour, where you represent your main club, and there are also some things where you can play for a second club, like for a guest club. And this doesn't not only bring new people to the tournaments, but also new couples, new parejas, because now it's not given that you have to play with someone from your own country, but you can play with someone from your club.
So hopefully also we're going to see new players. If you don't have to be Finnish to play for Finland or Danish to play for a Danish club, a lot of people living in Europe can actually participate.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's one of the main objectives.
And what's this rule about more clubs, one club, two club?
It was a long discussion. We had a lot of talks about this, but we want to keep it as open as possible. So each player has a main club where he can participate for this club, but then he can choose one other club where he can also participate for this club, to be able to team up with more different players, and allow teams that we wouldn't have if we would limit it to one club only.
And there's 3 tournament formats, right? There's the 1,000 where you play for 1,000 points. There's the 500 where you play for 500 points, and there's 100 tournaments where you play for 100 points. And obviously the thousands are going to be having the biggest prize money and having the big stadiums and so. And the 100s are going to be more open, or not more open because all the tournaments are open, but it's going to be maybe just on a beach and you want to invite friends but there needs to be like 2 or 3 international teams for it to be a League of Champions. How do you, Clemens, as a player, how do you want to approach a tour like this where you have 3 different formats? Are you going to prioritize a specific kind of tournament, or how do you strategize with these kind of things? Will there be a strategy to it?
There would be definitely going to be a lot of planning going on with Jackie and me, since we, apart from the League of Champions, want to play the Spanish League and also the Austrian ranking tournaments as much as we can. And then from there on, we will definitely look for the 1,000s and 500 categories tournaments. So they are going to be the main thing we try to prepare for and to be ready for. But also I want to see a 100 tournament, also maybe take part at one, just to see what the vibe is like, rather than only being at the bigger tournaments, because the League of Champions is, as we already heard, something brand new, granting chances to everybody. So I want to be there and see how it progresses and see what can be maybe improved for the future. But from a player's perspective, I guess Jack and me are going to look to be on top of our game when the 1,000 tournaments and the 500 tournaments come around. especially as it kicks off in our hometown of Graz. That's where we focus
That's where you're gonna be
the
ready.
most on.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to see that shark attack, Clement, in Graz. But I guess you also need to collect a certain amount of points to actually qualify for the finals. In the end, there's one big final in Tenerife. So there's also thinking about how many points do we have in order to actually qualify directly to the finals in Tenerife. Is that correctly understood? And that's also why you want to prioritize the greater tournament.
Exactly. And the thing is that the points for a club add up. So as we from Graz have a club with a lot of players, our club will have good chances, I think, to make it to the top clubs to be represented in the finals in December. So this is also something that rewards a thriving community in your hometown or in your local area. If you try to push football there, you get a broader amount of teams and they compete on different levels of tournaments in the League of Champions. In the end, your club is rewarded with a spot for the final.
So it's actually the club that has a spot for the final and not the team, or how is that?
Yes, exactly. The best clubs are going to be present at the final in Tenerife.
So just to understand it correctly, you have a club ranking and you have a players ranking also, but it's the club ranking that decides, and it's the club that actually gets places in the finals.
Yes, but you can also get a direct spot as a player if you win one of the 1,000 tournaments.
All right. So good luck, guys. And just one final thing, and then I think we can round the general thing. You can invite Brazilian players or people from outside of Europe can also join. And how does that work?
You cannot not two Brazilians who are not living in Europe can team up. So, for example, Davinho and Guy can't play, but you could play with Davinho to get your first points, and I could play with Guy to get some more, and this would work. So you can register a guest player, but Davinho can't be transferred all along Europe. He has to choose one club for this season and then can play with any player of this club.
So as a foreign player coming from outside, you can only represent one club. And as a European player, you can actually represent two clubs.
But
yes, exactly.
like here in Barcelona, there are a lot of Brazilians. They count as Europeans or like citizens.
Yes, that's important. It's for people from outside of Europe. I mean, we always talk about Brazilians because for clubs, probably it's the most interesting to sign Brazilians and not. Maybe there are some African talents. I don't know. But we all know about the big Brazilian players. So in our head, it's to have them at your club and then maybe have somebody play with the Brazilian to collect a lot of points. So this is, I already hear some voices here and there about Brazilian players that are about to be signed. So that's gonna be interesting as well.
I have a direct link to Ipanema Beach right now. It's very important. It's gonna be the survival or the only chance for Copenhagen football in this season, I think.
So with a lot of money.
With a lot of money, just holding on to that, Jacob, from a player's perspective, what's that like that you can open it up and you can have these great talents from Brazil coming in? Is that a good thing, or do you feel a bit disqualified by it? Or
no, I'm a big fan. I always think that the more quality a tournament has, the better for everyone, because then you can compete with those Brazilians who would normally never compete. And rather being afraid, I'm honored or blessed or whatever to be in the same competition as them and to not only watch them on the live stream, but to play against them in the whole tournament. So I really hope that some crazy guys from, I don't know, Denmark, Sweden, let it be wherever, buy Henan, buy Davinho to play the whole tour with them. It would be amazing. I wouldn't say it's unfair. I would say this is what footballer needs and what people would like to see.
Cool. Final thing, when I scroll through your Instagram, Benedict, and the League of Champions website, I see football everywhere and international tournaments for everybody. I see it written a lot of places. Can you elaborate just a little bit on that? Why these words and what does it mean?
In my opinion, at the moment, this is the most important. If we really want football to grow, to have it everywhere, we need to bring it everywhere. So football everywhere is not just a slogan, but it is actually happening. If you look at the map of tournaments, there are a lot of places where we bring football or where there already is football, and we team up with them to make a nice event. And to open it up for everybody, I think it's so important to keep people motivated, to get players training and travel and join competitions. I think like in all sports, this is what makes the sport grow. If you have more active players and if you have it spread all over Europe, I think this is what football needs.
And let me just go through the location. We have Graz Women's in May 31st and June 1st. There's Graz Men's in June 6th to 8th. You have Munich, which I'm actually revealing right now to the world, somewhere in between that. Schwäbisch Gmünd is still a maybe, I think. It's not 100%
It's not
confirmed.
100% confirmed.
Also,
yes.
the end of June, France, Corsica in mid-July. You have August, the beginning of August in Copenhagen. Harzberg also in August. Croatia, Pula in August. Ibiza in October. And the December, the Tenerife finals. So congratulations on an amazing program. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to try and be everywhere. Oh, we also have the Wiesloch, Coco Beach
Yes.
in August.
And there are some more events even that are just waiting to be confirmed. So there might be some more added to the calendar.
Fantastic. Amazing to hear, and congratulations on a really good job there. We start the season in Graz, the famous location of Graz. Where's it going to be this year? And can you tell us a little bit about this setup there?
It's going to be at Karmeliterplatz, where it all started. It was the first event in 2012.
Wow.
You still remember?
Jackie was barely born.
I didn't play back then.
Jackie was not good enough. He was not representing Austria back then. And how old have you been? 2012?
16.
16. Did you watch from the stands? Did you cheer for us even? Did you support the Austrian teams, or you didn't have football
I have
on your
to say
mind at
yes.
all?
I don't remember
Yes.
anymore, but I have to say yes.
And I don't remember seeing any pictures of you at this event in the stands or helping with anything.
In the back, maybe.
In the back, like always. No, but it was 2012. We had the first time a great possibility to put a small stadium there and have the sand. And I think this was the start when we had in our head that it's possible. It's not something unrealistic to put football in the city center and to have a lot of attention for football. What was back then a really small sport, nobody knew it. At the moment in Graz, people know it, people wait for the events, people like the events. So it's beautiful to see people talking about football and people going there to the square to see football and to join the party. The entrance, like always, is going to be free. The best teams are going to be in town. The action is going to be amazing. The stadium is going to be set up for 3 weeks. So, yeah, a lot to do. You can come to watch and to play, of course.
And I heard you talk about the qualifying a lot yesterday, Clemens, and how's that going to work and everything. Can you explain? I think a lot of players out there are curious on one thing, how do I sign up? But also, how does it work with the tournament structure? If you want to do it for everybody, how do you still organize a tournament like that, and who's going to be in the main part and so on? So
yeah, that's the main question we received, and we had a talk about it yesterday. So since there is no ranking yet where everybody has had a chance to earn points for the League of Champions at the first event, it will be the seeding will happen by a jury who has a look at the certain players who sign up. And then from what I know, there's going to be 16 teams in the main field in Graz.
No.
24.
Yes. Because as Clemens said, it was a big question. Who will be in the main field? Who will need to play qualifications? There were so many messages. So we were thinking about allowing as many teams as possible in the main field. And we thinking of a competition with 24 teams in the main field.
Right. And who's going to decide who's in the main field and who needs to have the qualification tournament on a Friday?
There's a group of experts of 5 people, I imagine, and they have a look at the previous results of international tournaments, of the standings in their national competition where they are, and so on. So they have a look at they give their impression of how strong teams should be rated without having a lot of points anywhere.
And I wrote
Sure.
down 4 characteristics or element they're gonna evaluate from. There's the EFVL Nation ranking. There's the international performance of the specific teams or players who are in the club and who's representing there. Then there's the national performance or the players' national ranking, and their current form as well. And to my understanding, it's gonna be in the jury. It's gonna be both organizers and players. Or how is it working? Yeah. Good. So then that's clarified. So for men's, it's a lot of teams. For women's, probably a lot of teams, both for qualification and in the main groups. For the women's, probably everybody who signs up are qualified for the main tournament on Saturday and Sunday. And on the Friday, or I heard something about a mixed.
Yes, the plan is for the female tournament, everybody who registers will be in the main field because we can host a lot of teams. And on Friday, we're going to do an international mixed competition. So Friday, the 31st of May, international mixed competition in Graz. Or is it the 30th of May? I think the Friday is the 30th, right?
Yeah, Friday is the 30th.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's the date for the mixed tournament.
Say it again to the camera.
So international mixed competition in Graz, Karmeliterplatz on Friday, the 30th of May. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have the female competition of League of Champions 1000 Graz.
And the prize money, let's just put it out there. Usually it's a big prize money in Graz. How is it going to be this year?
It's going to be, we don't know the exact amount because we always try to put as much as possible, but it's going to be minimum 3,000 euros.
And I heard something about wanted posters. Jackie, what's that about?
We were talking today at breakfast about something like a bounty, because the last years it was always Benedict put a bounty on the first shark block, which was successfully taken in Austria. And last year during the Austrian Championship, there was really Thomas Holzer, shout out. He managed to shark block Riese's header, and he's still waiting for his prize money. It was a Bolao voucher. I'm not sure about the amount, but this brought us to the thought that we could do like bounties, and we are also wanting to like engage the people a bit.
So let's just put down one bounty each. Let's do it like that, okay? I can say the first one to put a ball on the sand on the side of Jacopucci is going to be a bounty of 100 euros. If you put the ball on the sand in Graz on Jacopucci's side,
During
100
the tournament.
Euros. During the tournament,
Okay.
100 euros. Come, let's hear your bounty. Bone.
I'm going to go with the first shark block. I'm going to keep to my bounty and the first shark block if there is one, but the first one is going to be awarded.
Gonna be awarded? Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Another bounty.
I thought about, putting a bounty on the hometown hero's head, but since this would be us,
You can put it on the
Pressure's
poster as well.
on.
I'll leave it for another tournament to say something like beat the hometown team. So I'm going to go with winning one set against Raun and Mauer if they show up, which I expect they will, since they always look for the biggest competition. And the League of Champions 1000 tournaments are the biggest competition this year. So winning one set against Raun and Mauer.
There's gonna be a bounty on that.
My bounty is like Saudaya head blocking. I'm a big fan of this. So whoever is going to do this, 100 euro.
100 euros.
100 euro.
If anybody of you out there has any suggestions for bounties we should put on the Graz tournament, let us know, and we're gonna make a list of all the wanted papers and posters to put up there for the tournament, and small gamification of the tournament. Yeah. Let's
Yes,
do it.
definitely.
Sounds very fun. Boys, predictions for the season I asked you all to prepare a little list and notes of your best predictions for this League of Champions season coming up. We have your prediction of your top 3 clubs, who's going to end in the top 3, your top 3 teams. The biggest surprise of the season, what's that going to be? Who's going to be the rookie of the season? Who will be the winner of the first tournament of Graz? And finally, will Tsugi get to 150, of course? But let's start with the clubs. Tsugi, 150. I'm betting on you.
The pressure is on.
Yeah, it's going to be the opposite of a bounty. You get money for letting him win. Top 3 clubs. Who do you have, and why do you have them there? Clement?
I have whichever club Ron and Mo are going to play for. So I guess they will make it to the top 3. I have Serfai Footvolley with Dane and Mikey probably competing for them, and also Faku said they're going to have more than
A lot of players from Serfai.
more than one team
A lot
to
of
collect
quality
points.
players.
Also, they have teams that would maybe travel to a 100 tournament, so that's why I see Serfai there definitely. And also Lazio. Federico Jacobucci, the Ballon d'Or winner, is 100% motivated to win it all this season and to travel to every stop together with his partner. So I think Lazio will also have a say.
Mona, who's your top 3?
I think Serfa is going to be really strong. Not only because they have the top players, but they have a lot of players that are also keen on traveling this year. So I hope to see you everywhere, guys. Then maybe Hertha Berlin is also a club with a lot of quality, but also with a lot of good players. Not only one top team, I want to say, but a lot of good players. So they will get a lot of good results. And then Israel, of course, can be dangerous. You never know if some clubs will have Brazilians. So this can be. And of course, Lazio Roma. I don't know about other players that will present Lazio Roma. I think Gatto Graziani is also a Lazio player, also a very nice player. But
From
of
what
course,
I can understand, Jacobucci is going to be at the 2 1,000 tournaments, so that's already
Yes,
potentially
yes.
a lot of points. Yeah.
and Jacobucci at the moment is training in Brazil with Tavinho and Gui. So it's not the worst preparation for a tough European season. So yeah, but I cannot. It's too hard to say who will be the best 3 clubs. There are so many good clubs. Also the Portuguese. Let's not forget Otero and João. Also a lot of quality and a lot of ambition for this season. So
I think that was more than 3.
yes, I know. That's why I cannot.
Jackie, top 3 clubs, predictions.
Yeah, hard. I would say a mixture of the ones my brothers stated, but I'm also a big footballer romantic, so I'm going with Footvolley Corsica. I'm a big fan of them,
yes.
and they also have their home tournament. And I talked to Ottaviani last year, and if he's managing between some trail runs to play with the one or other footballer tournament, he's always on the list of. And I would also, I'm thinking about some bounty for him, some helicopter or something, what especially Ottaviani can do. I'm a huge fan, so I will put him there. Yeah, something from Israel and Serfa.
And maybe we shouldn't forget Copenhagen, because I saw Morten being really interested in signing Brazilians. We know they have too much money, so Copenhagen
But
is
you know,
not.
It's not an interest, it's a necessity.
But you can't sign 2, yeah? So Morten still has to play. That's why I didn't call up you.
Well, let's see how deep these pockets are.
But as a final note, maybe we have to take into consideration that maybe new clubs amass a lot of good players, as a common goal. So we don't know how the whole thing is going to develop, if everybody's staying with his or her actual home or main club, or if they team up. If you have a look at Spain, for example, where there are a lot of clubs, maybe some form one club to go together.
I guess that's also something very interesting. You still don't know who's going to partner up and who's going to actually link up in this kind of format, for sure.
Yeah, and given that in the 500 and 1,000 tournaments you have to represent the same club, there will have to be the one or the other shift from some players, top players also.
The good thing in Graz, we will know the majority of players for sure, because they want to play there, so they have to decide for which club they're going to play, and from then on, it's more or less fixed.
So maybe the teams ranking, we should kind of the team's prediction, we should kind of eliminate, and we should do it a players' prediction. Who's going to be the top 3 players? Because there's going to be a players ranking, right? There's going to be one the club's ranking, and then also every player is going to collect points for themselves. Who's going to be on top 3 of this players ranking?
I think it's going to be Jacobucci, Davinho,
Davinho?
and Henan Billy.
When you say Dane or
No, I mean, up to the spectators to decide.
You can choose your own Tavinho. Everybody at home choose the European or the Brazilian Tavinho.
The real or the Brazilian, how I like to call him.
Sorry, once again, Jacobucci?
Yes, I think the real Davinho and the Henan. I think they're coming to Europe and going to play all the stops and are going to compete for the single ranking.
Wow. What a prediction. Clemens?
Well, I prepared 3 teams, and it's hard for me now to alter since I imagine those 3 teams will show up together at the time. So, but I don't know. You never know, right? But I'd say I'd have Ron and Moa, definitely. So if one of them plays one tournament more than the other, it's obviously going to be this one I have in the top 3. Then I have Juan Silva and Rodrigo Otero. I don't know if they plan on playing every stop together or if one has more time or more means to travel. And then I also have Mitch and Didi,
Yes.
who made a huge impact last year, the way they played. And I think they are still on the rise. Furthermore, they are very well organized. You know, they plan their holidays and stuff for the competition. So I see them definitely amongst the top 3 teams. I don't know if they make it to the top 3 individual players.
Europe will be Gans.
Ganz Europe will
Gans
be
Europe, yeah.
Weber's terrain.
Bone, top 3 teams?
Teams or players?
Players, sorry.
But teams would be easy, actually.
Okay, we're putting. Why don't you say anything before I even start presenting this idea? Tell me it's a bad idea. Go on, help me out a little bit. Teams, let's go.
Ron and Moa.
Mm.
Then Juan and Otero. And the third one, I don't know if I should go with the Germans, Joel and Luki, or with Dane and Mikey, but I think I just saw a reel of Dane, whom I'm gonna visit next week and see if it looks as good in real life. But I think Dane and Mikey are already on their top, more or less, and still have 3 months of time. So I think Dane and Mikey are gonna be amongst the 3 top teams.
That is some prediction.
But this is not taking into account any Brazilians like Jackie. This, of course, changes everything. If we have Davinho, Sandré, Hena, all in Europe playing these events, then it's hard to predict anything.
Biggest surprise of the season? One biggest surprise? What's your predictions?
For me, there's an easy answer. It's going to be Jack and me, obviously. Surprising everybody, doing what we haven't done yet. So we have 100% focus and goals, and if we manage to reach and fulfill these goals, I think a couple of people will be surprised. On the one hand, maybe make an evolution to get our football another step further, and then also get some really good results. So I predict that the biggest surprise, obviously not for me and not for Czechia, because we're only trying to make a step ahead and reach our goals. But for everybody who's not us, we're going to be ready to surprise you.
I'm ready for that surprise. Jackie, you cannot say the same.
No, I'm coming up with the biggest tournament in football is going to be a female competition and not a male one. I think this is going to be the biggest surprise. It's going to be a random 100 tournament. No one knows about it yet. And I think this is going to be the biggest surprise.
A random female tournament taking over League of Champions.
Yes.
I
would
How
love
many
it.
teams do you expect?
54.
Okay. Nice.
Show up, women. Let's do
Berlin,
it.
I'm counting on you.
Bone, surprise of the season?
Surprise of the season. I believe in Chucky and that he can surprise everybody and make his points that he needs to make. There is so much criticism already Some people didn't even see him yet, but I believe in him and I think he will surprise.
The road to 150. Rookie of the season. Person entering the international scene. Maybe not for the first time, but like probably taking on the stage for the first time, the international stage. Who's that going to be? Clemens, you're so well prepared with all your notes on the phone, so I'm going to start with you again.
Yeah, it's and I'm going to be there with the easy answer once more.
Let's go.
The Rookie of the Year 2025 is amongst us, sitting over there. I'm pretty confident if you get over your minor injury that you're suffering from at the moment, you're going to be enchanting Footballer Europe with all your passion and your moves and your competitiveness. So
And my deep pockets and showing up for every event.
showing up for every event, inviting a Brazilian, you never know. But to me, you're the rookie
Let's see.
in the
who-
making.
There are more ways to success, you know. One is to train really hard,
Yeah.
and the other one is to spend really a lot.
For a player who can cover the entire field, and then I don't even need my hips. That would be the best way. Jackie, rookie of the season. And thank you,
Um,
Clemens, for the trust, for sure.
I think I don't know this person yet. I think it's someone I don't know yet. Is this allowed? Can I guess like this?
No, it's not allowed.
No?
Yeah, you can wait until Benedict. You need to pick out a rookie. This is a predictions.
But I think the rookie is so undercover that he or she didn't appear yet.
Wow. Okay. So you don't even know who it is.
No,
But it's
I
not
understand.
Chucky.
it's not true. And it's not you.
I will categorize it as a vague answer, but as an answer, it was like,
Good enough.
Bone?
I would really wish for Kevin Ravai.
Aha.
Everybody who is following football knows Kevin Ravai even outside of Austria, and I would really like him to have a good preparation and maybe a good partner, hopefully from Brazil, so he can really reach his goals finally, because he's working a lot for football. Yeah, but this really depends upon the partner. I think who can be a big surprise. I never saw him in real life, but I see him in some videos and hear things about him. It's Lenny, a young player from Switzerland.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes.
And also, we had a young Swiss team in Hartberg last year, Leandro and Mike. I also think they can surprise at some of the events. But I also am really looking forward to see Louis and Lenny, who have just played in Switzerland so far, but I think they have big plans. They train a lot, and I think they can surprise us.
Okay, all focus on Switzerland for the big rookies or the ones taking over the international scene. Looking for who's going to be the winner in Graz? Quick answers. Clemens, you're ready with the quick
I'm ready.
answers. So it's going to be you, yeah?
Yeah, so if they show up, I mean, they are the European champions and they are the non plus ultra. It's going to be Ron and Moa. I predict this as champions.
Jackie?
Same.
Bone?
Hannah and myself.
Wow. And final question for the prediction. Will Jugi make it to 150? Yes or no?
No.
Nunca.
Yes, and if it's gonna be tight, we're gonna add more events until Chuki has 150 points. We're gonna make
Jugi,
it
I'm buying
happen,
you a
Chuki.
Brazilian. Very good. Okay, so that's this season predictions from the team Bolao. I now want to introduce a little bit of a new concept, and let's see if this works. I'm logging into a roulette table here.
Gamer.
And the reason why I'm logging into a roulette table is that we actually want to raise some money for good causes around Football Europe. The way it works is that anyone, all clubs, all football enthusiasts, any fan can write into Bolao Talks. You can write us in the DM on Instagram or find the email on the website or wherever. And we have 150 euros that we're going to put down on a roulette table on one spin. And it's Bolao Talks putting down the money for you guys. But if we win, you can take the profit. So all you have to do is write us a text, an email of what do you want to use the money to and for. And also tell us what you want to put your money on. So what should the bet be on? And it's just one spin. It's one spin. And what do you think? What should you take into calculations when putting your money on something? Who are we going to prioritize in doing this? And what would you put your money on if it was you?
Playing roulette?
Yes, one spin.
Ah,
Help
that's a
the
very good question. Should we risk a lot, you think? Should we go for numbers or should we
Give
go
the
for 50,
listeners
50
some-
options?
Give the world best listeners some advice. What would you do?
I'm a big fan of betting chances of 1/3. So maybe the first third or the second and the columns.
For me,
So
the color always needs to be black. It's my tip.
That's the one thing. Yeah, black is a thing.
Yeah, I would either go with black or with complete random numbers like birth dates or dates of the club founded or something like this.
But aren't there some good numbers? Like 18 might be a good number because it's an important number in football. So maybe to put some on 18 because it's the magic number. If you reach
Mhm,
18
if you
points,
18.
it's-
That's also something. Yeah, could also be a way of betting.
you could also split it between 20 and 25 for the year of
League of Champions.
yeah.
Could
But
also,
do you have experience? Are you a professional roulette player yet?
I would call it the opposite. What do you call it when you lose a lot of money on it? Unprofessional player.
But you play a lot. That's
No.
already good. You have experience.
Big numbers, big money. We put it in all in one. So I think the way we're gonna do it today is that I'm gonna put down now 50 euros on black. We're gonna put 50 euros on the final third. Maybe
Mhm.
let's do that, and then 50 euros on 18. Hey, that's a big bet on 18. And whatever we win, we're gonna put a bounty for the first shark block of the Graz tournament. And it's just to showcase to everybody out there how it's gonna work. And from next time, people can write in and say, yes, we need new balls in our club, or I really want to go to this tournament, but I need money as a fan, or whatever it can be that we want to prioritize and try and give one spin. Yeah.
And then the club trusts our expertise, how to put the money, because we're such experts, or they will decide.
Well, they can decide themselves, but now they've heard how big experts we are, you can also leave the trust in us. Yeah. Okay, so I'm now, just for everybody, where's 18? Why is the table round like this? I've never seen. Oh shit. That's not how you do it.
Did you lose already?
I'm just no.
Einige Hunderte gesetzt auf Verteil. Also es ist stabil.
But
So
why
you,
is
you have the 100.
Yeah, but now if I put here, it's like a wrong table. I don't know what's going on. Also, we just need to discuss real fast.
Live roulette you need.
Yeah, like, what kind of dealer are you looking for when you're playing roulette?
For me, the most important is that it's a real human and not a machine. This is what I'm looking for in a dealer.
Uh-huh.
um
Is there something specific I should be looking for right now? Man, female,
Do
man.
you have a live dealer here?
I have a
you
live
can
dealer,
choose a live
dealer here,
dealer?
yes, and there's a spin going on in a minute, but we can put it down.
More
Next
than
spin.
more than 30 years old, I'd say.
More than 30.
Mm.
yeah, I also prefer older.
I can tell you, this guy is not an old guy. We're looking at a younger dealer, so if we're losing, that's for
Did
sure.
you put it on?
No, I need next
Okay.
spin. It's coming now. It's coming now. 18, black, and final 12. Last 12, yeah?
And does it matter what this spin was? Now it was 19.
Oh, so next one is 18 for sure.
Perfect.
So that's,
200?
yeah, but this is Danish kroner. That's why it is.
So the first successful shark block in Graz, right?
Yes,
Ah.
first successful shark block.
But-
And the money is down. We need 18, black, or last 12.
Voilà.
It's rolling. It's rolling. Put it in here. Let's see. I cannot see, but he rolled it really nicely. It looks like I want it all in 18. If it's empty, that's so bad. It is red 14, and we lose everything.
Really?
Unfortunate, but I think we managed to showcase what it's all about. Now we lose. That's the risket of the biscuit of playing everything on one roulette spin. But maybe you're the ones who actually get lucky, and we want to give all the profit and send it out to you guys, but in a fun, playful way like this. I hope it makes sense to everybody. On that loss, on that heavy loss. Any last notes for the podcast?
It's the perfect way to end it, or should we do something positive to finish off the podcast?
Yeah, let's try once more.
But now for 300
Yeah.
euros.
I think we're hitting the casino tonight, and we're gonna live stream from there. So, any final words? Anything that needs to go there?
Maybe for other viewers, we should tell them that we plan on making a podcast or a Bolao talk once a month, right?
By minimum once a month.
Yes,
For sure. I think there's going to be no regular date or no nothing like that, but we're going to keep it as a minimum sequence once a month.
And of course, like we did back then, we're gonna invite people to join the podcast.
Yes.
So
So for sure, there's can be some invitations. I think it's also going to be live streamed on Twitch sometimes moving forward. Yeah.
yes,
What I think would be nice if somebody has a project related to football, he or she can also explain it very short in the podcast. So whatever football related project you have, I'm thinking about AFA, for example. Just write to us, and we will surely give you space and time in our podcast.
Jack is taking over from you.
Yeah.
You wanna switch this?
I need some time to rest over there. Like that really hurt. I think people out there at least now know that you should bet yourself and not take our advice.
That's it. But you know why I think we lost? Because of the dealer. He
Yeah.
was too young.
Was too
He
young.
wasn't experienced
that's it,
enough.
That's it.
That's it.
Maybe what might be important is to say when we open the registrations. Or did we talk
that's
about it?
very important for sure. Bring it out there, Bono.
Yes, at the moment we're working on creating a platform where you have all the information for League of Champions. You have your profile. You can register for events. You can follow the ranking. What else can you
You can
do?
see live score from the
Live
tournaments.
score, live streaming probably. You have your club information. All of the data, all of the information is going to be inside the platform. We're working on it at the moment. And what's the prediction? When will we be live? When will registrations be open?
In March.
In March. I think middle of March. Is it too realistic? Maybe in 3 weeks.
It's too realistic, yeah. Yeah. Mid-March. Yeah, that's good. Let's
Yes.
try and make it like that. Thank you, boys. Any final words? If not, we're gonna go have a caña and pick up Clement from school soon as well.
Maybe we can just record something we say that we can also use, like you did on the beach, League of Champions, or some slogan, just all of us. You know what I mean?
Have
Because
fun,
we
play
this
football.
Football everywhere.
Thank you.
Football everywhere.
Football everywhere.